What's up guys, I'm back again with another video where basically this is gonna be a follow-up video from the last Whistling Diesel video that I made. So I'm not gonna go into every detail, mostly because I explained some of it in my other video. I'll put a link in the description somewhere if I can remember. If not, then search up or something. But this guy basically apparently this guy did tax fraud of thing for a Ferrari that recently burnt in one of his videos. And yeah, like, that's it pretty much. The state of, I don't know what state they're in, but apparently that's what they're gonna do and whatnot. They're trying to apparently silence him. And yeah, like basically he's probably gonna go to court and sort out. In the last video we did see where they bailed him out for 2 million, which is crazy to me considering the fact there was apparent tax fraud on a Ferrari that is destroyed. I mean, literally, it's on the news, it's on like everything else. So the fact that you're claiming tax benefits from a Ferrari that doesn't exist, that's already damaged severely in flames, is crazy. But hey, what can you do, I guess. And yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna go on with the video, I guess.
I am making this video to discuss two major updates regarding the reason I was arrested by 5 police officers at my front door and jailed several days ago. So obviously this was a big surprise to me. I had no clue what any of this was for, as I said in my last video, and I made that video as an update to give you guys transparency. Obviously my mugshot is on the internet. I've never been arrested before. I have a clean criminal record, and I think the public deserves to know why, right? That is something that you would think would be deserved, the freedom of speech. That's why it was quite surprising to me that after making that video, I got not only this investigative report related to the tax evasion, the alleged tax evasion, but also a gag order to stop talking about it, which you would think would violate my First Amendment right. I had no clue that existed. I didn't know what a gag order was, so I did some research. Basically, it would say that if this goes through, which I have court for on Monday, not even the tax evasion thing, the gag order, if this were to go through on Monday, I would not be able to say anything at all about this case. No videos, no updates. I cannot talk about it. So I want to talk about this gag order because it's very interesting. Not as interesting as this report, which we're about to talk about too. So I want to make this video out of transparency to show you guys what is going on in the government, what they're allowed to do anyways, you know, factually what is going on in my life. This is just an update for the thing they're trying to put me in prison for. So in this gag order, they list my influence. I have 20 million like combined followers. It says the gag order would prohibit me from making any pre-trial extrajudicial statement via any form of social media platform. So they show all my social media posts, me saying I'm going to take the killdozer to court. They show my Instagram posts, they show my story posts, they show just me covering what happened. And then, you know, referencing the YouTube video I made, they got over 6 million views. And obviously that made it to the top pretty quick because a lot of people saw how absurd the case was, and people up there heard about it from those people. It says, based upon the foregoing, the state moves this court to enter a gag order against the defendant, applicable to any and all of his social media platforms, prohibiting him from commenting on the case or its fact pattern in any fashion, and from attempting to monetize the prosecution in any form. His actions threaten the ability of the state to prosecute the case fairly and without outside influence, and potentially threaten the safety of those involved in the prosecution. So number one, I don't think anyone here is a threat. I think people are just confused and a little angry. People are rightfully angry. If they came to my door for something this absurd, they're not stopping there. They've shown what they are willing to do. And what I'm about to reveal in this gets a lot more dirty. Then, of course, they emphasize that they would prohibit me from attempting to monetize the case in any form.
So basically, they're trying to silence him for making for honest social media posts about, not registering your car in Tennessee or wherever he lives in that state. And you shouldn't register a car there, which is crazy to me because in a land where you're apparently supposed to have freedom of speech, you expect that you're supposed to have, like, many other things, in life. Like, freedom of speech is one of them. Like, it's all apparently a lie, isn't it? Because if you're going to, like, call them out for some dumbass shit like this, then, to be honest, that's crazy. Like, sending a gag order for if this case goes through, acting offense over a joke that he says, "Oh, I'm gonna take the killdozer to court or whatever," that's just crazy itself. You lot can't sit there and convince me otherwise. In my opinion, sending a gag order for that is outrageous. Like, to me, it's crazy to me.
So on this page, they have a screenshot of my merch for sale. You know what my merch has on it? Which, thank you guys for buying it. That actually, my legal fees are still more than what sold in merch. But you know what my merch has on it is the public indictment page.
Buy stocks and ETFs.
Indictment page that they posted when someone gets arrested. Anybody can access this. It was already public. All I did was draw a lot more attention to it. So that has, it's public. It has names on it, and mostly Department of Revenue who's responsible for this. So the fact that my First Amendment right is being tampered with is insane. Like, that's actually insane. I did not know that a gag order was possible. And so I have court for that on Monday, before this whole thing. That just shows how much this whole thing is going to blow up. So I don't know if they poked the wrong hornet's nest, or everybody was assuming they might try to make an example out of me. Like, I would assume they knew that like, I'm going to make content on this. So I think the reason they want me to stop talking about all this is that my influence is so big. They state all my followers and everything and my influence on social media that I could, like, basically everyone could side with me and I could bias the jury and it wouldn't make a fair trial. For me against the government, for me against the state government, it wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair for them. So they want me to stop talking about it. Now, I agree, it's not fair for anyone to threaten anyone. Please don't threaten anyone, but it's totally okay. You have the freedom of speech as well to ask the Department of Revenue why they are doing this. So it is cool. I'm legally allowed to talk about all this until Monday, if that were to go through, which is going to be quite difficult considering I very much so value my First Amendment right. So that was my First Amendment right. And right here, I have a many-page long investigative report on all the details of this case. Now, I can't say I was too surprised when I read this because a lot of it made sense, but I did laugh when I was reading it because it gets a lot more absurd. As we know, this is over $27,000 in sales tax on my one singular Ferrari F8, which burned down. It doesn't exist anymore. It's in this cube. And I guess they got an anonymous tip several years ago that I was registering vehicles in Montana, and those vehicles were in Tennessee. So they put together this massive case, and they contacted 13 people mostly from the state. They contacted the dealership I bought the Ferrari from. They contacted the shop who replaced the exhaust on the Ferrari. But most importantly, they contacted my accountant. She pays my federal taxes, my income taxes, and everything else. She handles my finances. She handles my cars, my payments. And she's a good accountant because when they called her, a special agent, I guess, from the state called my accountant. And they asked her all these questions. They said, do you give Cody financial advice? They asked some questions about Montana LLCs. And they were kind of digging. It says in the document, she called them back and asked if there was a problem with Detweiler's Montana registrations. She asked if we should move all of the Montana assets to Tennessee. In other words, register them in Tennessee and pay the sales tax. The accountant was advised not to speak to Detweiler about the conversation and to leave assets as they were until the investigation was complete. That was a year ago. Instead of saying that I owed any tax or sending a bill or a letter or a notification or a notice or telling my accountant that she should talk to me and let's get this taken care of so that we can be in compliance with the law. They asked that I not be informed about it. I don't know about you guys, and this isn't me defending myself, but that is wild. So they wanted me to not know. That just shows me that this was not about the money. This was...
So, let me get this straight. He has someone that pays his taxes, which is fair enough. I mean, I don't blame him mostly. Like, everyone in my family has someone that pays tax or something with their money for them if they can't do it for a reason. Like, as we know, Cody is a YouTuber and a very good one at destroying stuff. Basically, pardon me. And the fact that they phoned his financial advisor that does his taxes, saying we should move our assets to Tennessee so we can pay for Montana tax. Which, I'll say this again, like I said in the last video, I have no idea how taxes work. Like, seriously, I do not know how any of this works in any type of way, any type of fashion whatsoever. So, the fact that, like he said, it is wild that he can't have a right to talk about, which as he should, to be honest. Because let's be honest, it's his case too. Like, at the end of the day, he's making content that became a business, and $1 million business, obviously, and he's just like doing his own thing, you know? Like, it's America. Apparently, you'd have to have freedom of speech anywhere, pretty much. And yeah, I don't know what to say to him. I'll just carry
Never
on
about
with
the
the
money.
video
This was
again.
not about $27,000. This was about sending a message. So I don't know if they targeted this and like chose me on purpose because they thought it would get like the word out that, oh, they're collecting tax. You better move your registrations to Tennessee. I think they picked the wrong guy for that because even though it was public when it happened, it's going to be a lot more public now. I find it so wild that instead of informing me of how to be compliant over a year ago and collecting the tax, they decided to do all of this, arrest me and take me to jail and progress this whole case, which I looked up the punishment for. You know what the max, some of the max punishment for tax evasion on this is? 1 to 6 years in prison. Let me ask you guys a question for the viewers watching this. I don't know code A27-610C9324A98764 of the tax code. I don't. I don't, frankly. I take the advice of the people around me and maybe business advisors and people who I trust and friends who I talk to, and I put together the best plan that I think is to run a business. And I think everybody in the United States wants to file their taxes appropriately. Like, everybody knows, okay, pay your taxes or you're gonna get arrested. That's obvious. But when there's no information or education provided on it, and you are simply, your first move is to build a case and arrest those people, the trust in the government is lost. It is 100% lost. If they stopped with, like, if they did this to me, they're not stopping with me. This is going to happen to other people. This just shows what they will do. These two things, this is what I wanted to talk about. If you get anything out of this video, it is that they say I owed tax, but they would not tell me, and they would not tell me what I owed, and they would not educate me on what was owed or inform me about it. And they also want to take away, tamper with, I guess, my First Amendment right. That's wild. And just so you guys know, if you owe money to the IRS, they send you a letter. They say, hey, you owe this amount. You have this amount of time to pay it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I get mail at my address, which is exactly why I was so confused about all of this. I was like, if, God forsaken, like I got super sick and couldn't check my mail or something happened, I'm on a long vacation, I was like, if I owe tax and I don't know about it or I did something wrong, I will get a letter or a notification and they're going to tell me and I can be in compliance. I know this, right? Yeah, I was very surprised. I did not find any of this information. I got these documents like a week and a half or 2 weeks now. No, it's been like minimum 2 weeks after this arrest that I got these documents to see all of this. It reassured what I kind of thought, because I was like, I never got a notification. And I had heard something roundabout, like way through the telephone, of like this phone call to my accountant, but there was no information about it. It was really weird. I was like, was someone informed of this? And this makes so much sense of like, no one was allowed to contact me because they wanted to put together this case and like pin me for it. You know what I think it is? I think they started this whole mess to make a statement, and then when they realized that they messed up, they have this to shut me up because they don't want people knowing about all of this. What did they think would happen? Like, rightfully so, everyone's frustrated. Maybe I've said this already. I hate the fact that it looks like I'm defending myself, right? Because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't defend themselves against, some sort of legal issue, right? I get it. I don't want to sound conceited in this. I'd rather not be making this video, frankly, though. I think most of the public thinks that if the government says they did something wrong on their taxes, they're going to get a notice or a notification or a letter. Apparently, that's not always true. I'm not a tax expert. I take the advice of friends and family and people around me, and I try to do the best I can to have a good business and, have a good life. Oh, yeah. Okay, this was interesting. They list all the people they talked to. One of the people they talked to also was like a lawyer I had used years ago, like 5 years ago, 4 or 5. And he did like 2 documents for me. There's a statement in this: neither Detweiler nor an attorney representing him were interviewed in this case. So like they knew, they could have found my attorney, because my DeKalb County one with the jet ski thing, that was public, and he's the same attorney that did that. They could have easily found my attorney and talked to him, and we could have amicably resolved this. But nope, they wanted to do it sneakily. They wanted to show up at my house and arrest me and put me in jail. They wanted to shut me up. And I think now everybody's realizing how much of a mistake this was. I think the people at the state want to collect sales tax, and they probably wanted to send a message, and they were like, what better person to use as an example than this guy that destroys Ferraris? Which, this was an accident, by the way. I just like to have fun. I'm a random Joe Schmo. As much as what I do looks crazy, there's a lot of times my bank account's still zero. I reinvest just enough to do what I want to do. My goal in life is experiences, not money. Even though I think it's amazing to have a cool car and a lot of cool things, those things end up destroyed because I have fun with them. Like, what I want is an experience. I think they saw me as some sort of easy target. I guess maybe they haven't seen how we handle that. Oh, here's another interesting thing. They state in this document that I signed a 3-day removal affidavit, a paper saying I've removed the Ferrari from Tennessee in 3 days. And I did not remember doing that. When you buy a car at a dealership, you get a stack of papers bigger than this. It's like this. And they go, sign here, sign here, sign here. And there's like 25 papers that you sign. So I don't know if that was mixed into there or something, but like my goal throughout everything I do in my business is to be squeaky clean. I want to be in compliance with the law. Like, I wouldn't put all the work and effort and improvement and investments into my business if I was just gonna risk it all for some stupid legal issue. Like, my goal is to be in compliance. I don't wanna cause problems. What I do looks crazy, but I try to be in compliance with everything I do. This whole case has just been wild. I really appreciate everyone's support, genuinely. I just did a podcast with Cameron Haynes about this yesterday, good friend of mine, and I went to Tugger Carlson's Christmas party. There's a lot of people that I really appreciate their support very, very much. Like, genuinely, thank you so much. I did not expect the people coming out of the woodwork for this. This just feels so absurd for $27,000. Like, they did all that research. They put hundreds of hours of work into this, and I wasn't even notified of how to be in compliance. Thank you everyone who's been buying the merch. I actually upgraded the quality because it was a little lower than what I would have liked. There's still that no tax if you don't want to pay the sales tax on that. I'll pay it, state of Tennessee, don't worry. I'll cover that. It won't be much though, because the prices are fairly cheap. So I really appreciate your support, guys. We're definitely gonna have a lot of legal fees considering how long all this is probably gonna go on. I thought if everybody else could leave, all the 10 million people watching, and we'll just leave the Department of Revenue a message for you guys. So I understand your goal is to collect sales tax. I get it, that's your job. My job is to talk about you collecting the sales tax in this case. So again, we're at a little bit of a stalemate. I would prefer to not make these videos. I'm just being transparent with the public because this is America. They deserve to know what's going on with me when they see my mugshot online, and they deserve to know what's going on in the government. So America is for the people, and the people are the ones in charge. I don't have anything against you guys personally. I haven't seen your faces. I'm sure you're great people, and I know your job is to collect tax, but What better way to collect tax than to educate people on how to be in compliance? The pissing match does not work. America was founded by real people that value and protect freedoms, and I'm one of those people. If we want to keep playing this game, game on. If we can have a meeting and talk about this and figure out a way to educate people on what your guys' goal is, game on as well. I would love to work together. But just as the same reason my mugshot was public when I was arrested with 5 cops at my door, the public deserves to know why. And that's why I've made this video. So thank you everyone for watching. Once again, I will give you updates regularly as I have them. If the updates stop coming, it may be related to the gag order, although I think that's not going to, for number one, I don't think it's going to happen, and number two, I think it will have little effect regardless. One other update that I want to give everybody, the court date for the gag order, to get me to stop talking, is this Monday, December 8th at 9 a.m. at the Williamson Circuit Criminal Court. That's at 135 4th Avenue. That's a public courthouse. So I'm not telling you all to go there. I'm just letting you know I will be there to protect my First Amendment rights. Sad it had to come to that. Also, another thing, everyone, please, everything regarding this entire case, if you guys have a role in any form, whether that's physical, if you are showing up to the courthouse, or if there's any communication to anyone in the Department of Revenue, just please be respectful. It's okay, it's your human right to communicate and to show your voice. Just please be respectful, don't threaten anyone. We want to be safe and mature adults and deliver a message properly. I know my followers are respectful. We want to be the bigger person. So just please be respectful. Thank you everyone for your support, and I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, that was the video. So I'm just gonna, as usual, take a break and whatever, and then I'm gonna tell you all what my final thoughts are. Yeah, regarding to this, to the follow-up video here, he has made some good points. So, as we know in the last video, he was arrested for apparent sales tax that, for a Ferrari that has been damaged and rebuilt in a way as possible. And as like most of us knew or don't know already, that they collect tax in Tennessee. Like, everyone knows that, obviously, but in the US, you're supposed to show your First Amendment right, and it's of freedom of speech or whatever. And the fact that they're trying to silence him by a gag order, and that after knowing they basically messed up in Tennessee or whatever, is crazy to me. Like, this should be non-negotiable at the start, and it should have been held respectfully, in my opinion. Like, you could have just, like, let him know that, oh, you owe this that much or whatever to the taxes and stuff, and he would have paid it, because at the end of the day, Cody's a citizen, a respected citizen. No matter what, like, you think of his durability videos, what you think what he does is too lavish. Like, no matter what, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. And regarding to the IRS, he mentioned that he didn't get a letter from the IRS to pay his tax or whatever, which is, I don't know what to say to that, because then again, like I said, I don't know how taxes work in the US and such. You shouldn't be notified when you have to pay this or pay that, because if you have someone to show up at your door to arrest you for, like, what was it, 5 to 6 years for tax evasion, then you should be, like, notified in a way that you have to pay them. You should be sent an email, a letter, and according to him, he hasn't got it. So, in my opinion, I think that the government there messed up in a way, because if you're going to pay your taxes like a respectable person, at least like get notified about it, you know? And yeah, like just get notified, just notify him, simple. And they were like acting offended, all because of his merch as well, like just like his merch on screen, as you can see here. This does not affect anything else whatsoever. Like at the end of the day, like he's trying to like, that covers his tax, and he's trying to like rebuild his tax in a way as possible. And it's just like ridiculous. Like they're arresting him for it. And they're doing this and that whatsoever. In my opinion, it's a bit much, especially his court date, which is due tomorrow. I mean, what day is it today? By the time I post this video, December 8th. I don't know where the location is. All I know is tomorrow. When this video comes up, he'll be in court by then. But yeah, like that's it really. I hope he gets justice for this, and hopefully we get a Bugatti durability test, you know. And yeah, Cody, if you're watching this, I'm with you. You deserve to show your First Amendment right, and yeah, like, I respect you, bro, for what you do. You know, mad respect. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, smash the like button, subscribe. And on December 9th, which is going to be on Tuesday, will be the new Gymkhana video that I'm going to be reacting to, so I can't wait for that. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that video. If not, then up to you, I guess. Freedom of speech in the UK, you know. And yeah, without further ado, guys, smash like, subscribe, and peace out.
Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bomb is shaped like a deer.